माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना 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 यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavatam class. Today is Monday, 7th December 2015. We start with our prayers. Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from Canto 3, Chapter 9, Sloka number 42. Aham atmatmanam bhatah
Aham atmatmanam dhatah.
preyasam api
Preshta sanpreyasam api.
to mai ratim kuryad
Ato mayi ratim kuryat.
deha diryat krute priyah.
Dehadiriyat krite priyaha.
Aham atmatmanam bhatah
Aham atmatmanam dhatah.
preyasam api
Preshta sanpreyasam api.
to mai ratim kuryad
Ato mayi ratim kuryat.
deha diryat krute priyah.
Dehadiriyat krite priyaha.
Sita Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। अहम आत्मा आत्मानां दातः
Aham
Aham
atmatmanam
atmatmanam
प्रेष्ठः सन् प्रेयसाम् अपि ततः मयि
Preshta sanpreyasam api.
रतिं कुर्यात् देह आदिः यत्कृते प्रियः।
Ato mayi ratim kuryat.
देहादिर्यत् कृते प्रियः.
Priyaha.
प्रेमावर्धिनी माताजी.
अहम आत्मात्मनां धातः
अहम आत्मात्मनां धातः
Dhata.
इष्ट संप्रेयसामपि
Preshta sanpreyasam api.
अतो मयि रतिं कुर्यात्
अतो
Ato mayi ratim kuryat.
देहादिर्यत्कृते प्रियः
देहादिर्यत् कृते
Dehadiriyat
प्रियः.
krite priyaha.
कमलिनी माताजी.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Aham atmatmanam dhata.
अहम आत्मात्मनां धातः
Preshta sanpreyasam api.
प्रेष्ठसंप्रेयसामपि
Ato mayi ratim kuryat.
अतो मयि रतिं कुर्यात्
Dehadiriyat krite priyaha.
देहादिर्यत् कृते प्रियः. लक्ष्मी माताजी.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। अहम आत्मात्मनां धातः
अहम आत्मात्मनां धातः
Atmatmanam dhataha.
प्रेष्ठासन प्रेयसाम् अपि
Preshta
प्रेष्ठासनप्रेयसामपि
sanpreyasam api.
अतो मयि रतिं कुर्याद्
अतो
Ato mayi ratim kuryat.
देहादिर्यत्कृते प्रियः।
Dehadiriyat krite
प्रियः.
priyaha.
Anybody else is there? Nobody? Aham,
Aham.
I am.
I am.
Atma,
Atma,
Atma.
the super soul.
the super
Super
soul.
soul.
Atmanam,
Atma,
Atmanam.
of all other souls.
of
Of
all
all
others.
other souls.
Dhataha,
Dhataha.
director.
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 Preshtaha,
Preshta,
Preshtaha.
the dearest.
the
The
dear
dear
Son,
son,
son.
being.
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 Preyasam,
Priyasam.
all dear things.
Of
Of
all
all dear things.
Api,
happy,
Happy.
certainly.
certain,
Certainly.
Ataha,
Atma,
Ataha.
therefore,
Therefore.
my,
My.
unto me.
Unto me.
Ratim,
Ratim.
attachment.
Attachment.
Kuryat,
Kuryat.
one should do.
one should
One should do.
Deha adihi,
they
Deha. Adihi.
body and mind.
The body and mind.
Yat krite,
yat
Yet krite.
on whose account.
on
On
whose
whose account?
Priyaha,
Priyaha.
very dear.
Very dear.
I am the super soul of every individual. I am the supreme director and the dearest. People are wrongly attached to the gross and subtle bodies, but they should be attached to me only. I am the super soul
I
I am the
am
super soul
of every individual.
of every individual.
I am the supreme director
I am the supreme director.
and the dearest.
and the dearest.
The dearest.
People are wrongly attached
People
People
are
are wrongly attached
to the gross and subtle bodies,
to
to the gross and subtle bodies,
but they should be attached to me only.
but
but
they
they should be attached to me only.
What? The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is the dearest in both the conditioned and liberated states. When a person does not know that the Lord is the only dearmost object, then he is in the conditioned state of life. And when one knows perfectly well that the Lord is the only dearmost object, he is considered to be liberated. There are degrees of knowing one's relationship with the Lord, depending on the degree of realization as to why the Supreme Lord is the dearmost object of every living being. The real reason is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita 15.7. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The living entities are eternally parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. The living entity is called the Atma and the Lord is called the Paramatma. The living entity is called Brahman and the Lord is called the Parabrahman or the Parameshwara. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. The conditioned souls who do not have self-realization accept the material body as the dearmost. The idea of the dearmost is then spread all over the body, both concentrated and extended. The attachment for one's own body, its extensions like children and relatives, is actually developed on the basis of the real living entity. As soon as the real living entity is out of the body, even the body of the most dear son is no longer attractive. Therefore, the living spark or eternal part of the Supreme is the real basis of affection and not the body. Because the living entities are also parts of the whole living entity, that Supreme living entity is the factual basis of affection for all. One who has forgotten the basic principle of his love for everything is only flickering love because he is in Maya. The more one is affected by the principle of Maya, the more he is detached from the basic principle of love. One cannot factually love anything unless he is fully developed in the loving service of the Lord. In the present verse, stress is given to focusing love upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word kuryat is significant here. This means one must have it. It is just to stress that we must have more and more attachment to the principle of love. The influence of Maya is experienced by the part and parcel spiritual entity, but it cannot influence the supersoul, the Paramatma. The Mayavadi philosophers, accepting the influence of Maya on the living entity, want to become one with the Paramatma. But because they have no actual love for Paramatma, they remain ever trapped by the influence of Maya and are unable to approach the vicinity of Paramatma. This inability is due to their lack of affection for the Paramatma. A rich miser does not know how to utilize his wealth, and therefore, in spite of his being very rich, his miserly behavior keeps him everlastingly a poor man. On the other hand, a person who knows how to utilize wealth can quickly become a rich man, even with a small credit balance. The eyes and the sun are very intimately related because without sunlight, the eyes are unable to see, but the other parts of the body being attached to the sun as a source of warmth take more advantage of the sun than do the eyes. Wonderful. Without possessing affection for the sun, the eyes cannot bear the rays of the sun. Or, in other words, such eyes have no capacity to understand the utility of the sun's rays. Similarly, the empiric philosophers, despite their theoretical knowledge of Brahman, cannot utilize the mercy of the Supreme Brahman because they lack affection. So many impersonal philosophers remain everlastingly under the influence of Maya because although they indulge in theoretical knowledge of Brahman, they do not develop affection for Brahman, nor do they have any scope for development of affection because of their defective method. A devotee of the sun god, even though devoid of eyesight, can see the sun god as he is even from this planet. Whereas one who is not a devotee of the sun cannot even bear the glaring sunlight. Similarly, by devotional service, even though one is not on the level of a jnani, one can see the personality of Godhead within himself due to his development of pure love. In all circumstances, one should try to develop love of Godhead, and that will solve all contending problems. Beautiful purport. Okay. Okay. Rashmi Mataji can chant the pranam mantras.
ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितस्य। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nityaya Krupa Pradayane Gatha Damadaya Nagaragramadaya
Aham
Atmatmanam Bhata Preshtasana Preyasam Api Ato Mai Ratim Kuryat Dehadir Yatkrute Priya.
I am the supreme soul of every individual. I am the supreme director and the dearest. People are wrongly attached to the cross and separate bodies, but they should be attached to me only.
Hare Krishna. Here, Lord Krishna is giving us one more instruction. Instruction after instruction. That's what we want, that's what we need. And here, he's almost pleading. You can see that he's almost pleading. Please get attached to me. Because, as we saw in the purport, one of the very wonderful purports, Srila Prabhupada says that we get attached to so many things, bodily attachment and extended. He talks about the family and nation and society and so on. And we are attached to everything except what we should be attached to. And that is why the problems are not getting solved. He used to always say that somebody asked him, why there are problems, Swami? What are the main cause for problems? Why are we suffering like this? And he said, it is because we have forgotten our relationship with the Lord. We have an eternal relationship with Krishna, as it says in Bhagavad Gita. He says, you're all parts and parcels of the Lord. That's why it says Atma and then Super Paramatma. Brahman, Parabrahman. So, the formula is always simple. The process is also very simple. But our mindsets are so complicated that we don't have to accept it. Because unfortunately, we want immediate results for everything. Instant. If somebody says, no, even I remember, even I got caught in that. But of course, I had some majburi, you can say. In Vrindavan, when treatment was going on for the dental treatment, there are two options. One is, for the implant, they say one is a delayed action and one is immediate action. Delayed action means they go so many times and then they work slowly on that, and then slowly the bone builds up and it takes about 3 to 6 months. I was ready for that, to be frank. I just said, yes, no problem. We'll come back again and let that we do it. But the doctor said, sir, these days we don't have to wait like that. Immediate, nothing will happen. It's latest technology from Germany. It comes. Then I consulted my other somebody, some devotee told me to consult one more doctor. And he said, yeah, you can do immediate, but the only risk is that if you have some cavity, then a sinus, they say some sinus, then you have to wait. So then I told this to the doctor who was working on me, and I said, this is what other kind of. He said, yeah, that's true. That was the case. But now you know what? I'm going to bypass the sinus. So you don't have to worry about that. So, I mean, I was in a double mind, but then everybody said, not easy to go to India every time. So point is that, we are always seeking immediate results. Like somebody said, there's everything should be capsule. Put Bhagavad Gita in a capsule and just put, like, for Bhagavatam, you take 18 capsules, one for each canto. And 18 volumes, that's why I remember. So like this, everybody wants immediate results. And results should be satisfying your senses. Right? If the results are not satisfying the senses, then there is no point in those results. And that's why people are in Maya. Prabhupada says that the more and more you are attached to material things, the less and less you are attached to Krishna. It's very natural phenomenon. And he gives a wonderful example of a miser, like he says, miser has so much money, but he's not ready to spend. So he's poor. He remains poor only. He eats in aluminum plate and things like that. We have seen just having a gamcha and lungi. In Karnataka, we used to so many people. They are all millionaires, but they will not spend. They don't even spend on themselves. Forget about spending on Krishna. But we know the story of Narayana, the banana seller. He just heard that 50% should be given to Krishna, and he's, whatever he's making 1 anna, he gives half anna. Old days. He makes 2 annas, he gives 1 anna. He gets half anna, he doesn't take anything for himself, he gives it because there is no smaller coin available. Paisa maybe, half paisa. 1 paisa 2, so it becomes half one for 1 banana. So like this, it's not required to be rich to be a devotee. Of course, if you are rich and a devotee, then you can serve Krishna in various ways. But even a poor man can serve. Krishna is asking only Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Right? He's not asking big things. All that is required is affection for Krishna, love for Krishna. That's why only when we come into Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, we came to know that the highest goal is Krishna Prema. Highest goal is not liberation. Highest goal is not Swarga. Highest goal is not having many toys at the end of your life. Somebody put a sticker on the back of his Mercedes car. I want to have lots of toys like this when I am dead. So, we missed the bus. We already missed the bus for so long, but now somehow, by the mercy of Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas, we got a chance. This is all second chance for us. Maybe we don't know we will get the other chance or not. So that's why Prabhupada says, get out this lifetime itself. Don't plan for future lifetimes and so on. Now you can get out. By how? By developing intense love for Krishna. Intense love. All these great devotees, they are not different from us except that they have this intense love. Intense love for only for Krishna. Why? Because why distribute? You got such small potency and that also you are distributing. So you are neither here nor there. Bhagavad Gita confirms, we know. And that's the most difficult part for especially an Indian body who has come from some background of Kula Devata, Grama Devata, this much and that much and this Pantha Sampradaya, something like that. So they find it difficult to accept Krishna because then what happens to Ganesha, what happens to Lord Shiva, what happens to this, what happens to that? They have this worry all the time. Whereas a person who has seen the Shastra properly, accepted Krishna consciousness, for him it's so easy, isn't it? What is that Krishna cannot give us? If he cannot, then he is not Ishvara. But he is Ishvara, it's been accepted by everybody. So, another example Srila Prabhupada gives about the sun. Devotee of the sun can see the sun even without. From here only we may not be able to see sun God face to face, but we can perceive that, right? So another wonderful Sloka, wonderful instruction. And this one instruction can carry us through. That's all, we don't need so many more. Everything is a subsidiary, supplementary instruction. The main basic instruction is develop Krishna Prema. How? Sadhana Bhakti, Raga Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Saganuga Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. Nectar of devotion. Everything is given. We don't have to go somewhere to get all that. Everything is given. Thank you very much. I'd like to stop here. If you have any questions, comments, you can take it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
There was one devotee in our in a group, and she used to chant previously for one round, and something has happened in her life, she lost her mother all of a sudden it happened in her life. And she just she is not in the sense because she was too attached to her mother. She was too much attached to her mother. And now whenever we call her for classes, and whenever we go close to her and we want to talk to her about what is the importance of Lord being in our life, then she says, oh, I don't want to even when my mind will be there, what will think about him, then only I'll think about Lord. Otherwise I don't want to listen, because it's took away from my life the most dearest thing, most dearest. You even cannot imagine about your mother like that. So I have lost my mother. So and then she says no, and she's going in intoxication rather than taking shelter of devotees, or so this is why. And I don't know how to get her, because as a friend, as a devotee, we love her, we want her to be come back to us, but somehow this gross attachment or is so empowered on her, and we feel very pity, or we feel very sad for her. How to get her back to a normal life.
Actually, it's time which is separating her from devotion. Right now, she is in that shock.
Yes,
So this is what happens. This is the Maya's powerful influence. That how long the mother would last anyway. She cannot be there till she becomes 80 years old. Will she have her mother with her? The point is, we have to be we have to be prepared. The problem is you are not prepared for these things. We have to be prepared. So when we talk about death, etc., you know, people don't like that. They go, oh, what is this people are talking about? Ashubha. But the point is that everybody has to go through that. And if you're not ready for that, then the problem looks very big. That's why the first thing that when we come into Krishna consciousness or when we are talking to others, we have to impress upon them that everything around us is temporary. Except, actually, you know, when you're saying this, I remember I got really attracted to Krishna consciousness by reading a small book. The book's name was Endless Love.
Endless love. Okay.
It was a series of articles by Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, one of the CBCs. Very clear devotee. And he wrote in that particular article, essay on endless love. He exactly wrote that, you know, that how he was struggling to find love. And whenever he got some love, sooner or later he was getting frustrated with that, because sometimes the love was genuine, everything was there, but then the person is not there whom you are loving because of some, you know, some accident, something like that. Then he was searching. He says, I was searching for a love which will never end. Where you find that love? And then he came in contact with Srila Prabhupada and his teachings and books and all. And then he realized, and he says, the first time I realized that the endless love can be had only with Krishna. It's endless, because even if you leave this body, wherever you are, Krishna says that he will facilitate. Once you have done something, you have shown some affection for him, he will provide you facility to experience that again, more intense. And next time you'll get it a little more. That, he says, that made me ultimately decide that yes, I want to start loving this person. He didn't even know much about him, but then he started, you know, slowly understanding, etc. So this Mataji is, you know, only time is separating. Like this one incident happened and she became like that. Because she has done some chanting, some sukruti she has. So Krishna will facilitate her coming back to Krishna consciousness. You know, something will happen in her life. Like she had a bad experience, she will have such a good experience. So the thing is, right now, if you talk to her, she will not listen.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because of the condition. You know, this is exactly conditioned soul. Means you already decided about things. Okay. But when she sees the others still continuing after, and then, you know, flourishing and you know, both spiritually and materially also sometimes.
Okay.
Not that all devotees are poor,
Right.
right? But there
Yes.
are, according to Prabhupada, you know, when Prabhupada was asked this question that why are you feeding only rich people? And Prabhupada said nobody is rich. Who said they are rich? Everybody is poor, he said. So we don't discriminate. And then said, how do you say poor? He's got such a big house and all. Prabhupada said, he's got only house of bricks and all. He's actually poor because he has no love for Krishna. That wealth, the real treasure is love for Krishna. That account will only help us. And that's what Krishna is saying himself here, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu.
He's saying just get attached to me. So it will happen. You know, it will happen. As I said, you have to have a lot of patience, because we, again, even as a devotee, we are result oriented.
Yes, Prabhu. That is.
We expect results immediately. We say, oh, we told her everything, you know, why she's not taking? We get frustrated. As if we are the ones who are going to transform her heart. Consciousness. We cannot.
Yes,
It's
Prabhu.
a directly relationship between Krishna and her.
Right, Prabhu.
Krishna will do it at the right time. Krishna doesn't, you know, go by our instructions. Krishna do it now. We want her back. Because maybe she is making nice poha, you know, and so we are missing the poha. Just in the light when I'm saying, because
I
sometimes,
understand.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, some Mataji was making nice garlands and now she's not coming. So, like that, sometimes we have these kind of expectations. But it will happen. It will happen. I'm confident about that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because I have seen, in my 70 years of life, I have seen so many people who were inimical to Krishna. There are so many problems with Krishna. We have one devotee in Chicago,
Mhm.
and he lost both his father and mother in one night.
Oh, Krishna.
The apartment where he was staying caught fire,
Oh, Krishna.
and there were others also staying, but somehow these old people that come from India, they didn't know how to operate the doors and this and that. And these people had gone to temple. So when they came back, parents were dead. So and this happened when I met him first time. This was just about 3 months old story.
Oh.
He was not even coming for the Bhakti Vriksha program. We were holding it in his house also sometimes. But slowly over the period of time, we did not condemn him. I did not condemn him. I kept on, encouraging. And then finally he found that, no, this Prabhuji is a good friend. He never pushes things, like that. He had that confidence.
Mhm.
One day he came to me and told me, Prabhuji, I want to start chanting because now I'm confident that yes. Because it was so difficult for me to come out of the situation.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm saying, right? It will happen. Don't worry.
Okay. So in this, like once you form a firm belief in Krishna, then whatever happens in your life,
Yeah.
you just do not leave him, right, Prabhuji, at whatever stage.
That's why, never lose a faith in the process. Process is perfect. The implementation is not perfect. That's why the problem comes. Process
Okay.
cannot be faulted.
Sadhana.
Process is pakka. As I said, sadhana bhakti, raganuga bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Just 4 steps. And then door opens from inside. That you never should forget.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very nice class, and this explanation that you gave just now is also very nice, Prabhuji. Actually, when people are in that sort of distressed situation, they are not prepared to listen to anything.
Yeah.
So we just have to give them time.
Exactly.
They will so slowly get out of that and then realize actually we are so conditioned, and parents particularly, there's a lot of attachment, and it is very difficult to come to terms with that. Slowly, as you said, they will realize and come out of that. So
Right.
time is that. So we should develop loving devotional service towards Krishna. That is the only way.
Oh, absolutely.
So that fact is being reiterated in each and every sloka.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, the God Himself is saying that now, like
saying that.
some other certificate or something. Krishna is Himself saying. So if you believe in that Krishna, then everything, you will follow His instructions. That's how it is.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
nice.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It was a wonderful sloka, Prabhuji, today. I like this very much. Nice. And very nice explanation, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Very good. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.